got the bloodlust.
Me too.
I want to kill. Let's kill.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to The Bloodlust. This is your go-to podcast for classy broads talking horror since 2014. This is episode 267 of the program. Tonight we're going to be discussing Nosferatu for our last episode of the year, the new film by Robert Eggers. My name is Amy. I am your fearless leader, joined tonight by my lovely and talented co-host Jamie. Hello, friend.
Hello.
And also joined tonight by previous podcast guest and podcast listener, Chris.
Hello.
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 Chris and I are up in Newaygo, Michigan, enjoying the changing of the year at a little cabin on a lake with our respective partners, and we're having a lovely time.
Sounds great.
We actually played Monopoly today.
Wow.
I hated
Did it take forever?
It took forever, and Chris and I were both spanked pretty hard. It got down to just Leonie and Kay, and then Kay ultimately won. But yeah, it was a long, miserable game. But we did it because we're good
That's
sports.
what I hear about Monopoly most of the time.
Yeah.
I knew it would be.
It always is.
As long as you knew what you were in for.
And I'm just not a capitalist at heart, man. It's just not the game for me, I don't think. But then we also have been playing some Overcooked, and that is the game for me.
Well, good.
I enjoy it. How was your holiday, Jamie?
It was nice.
Yeah?
It was low-key, lots of family in town, but nothing crazy. Just some parties. Got sick because all the kids running around.
You'll have that.
Yep.
Did you get anything good? Any good presents?
I did. I got a peppermill and salt holder thing that I've been really wanting. That is from Maddie Matheson, who's a chef, a Canadian chef that I really like. I like his YouTube videos.
Okay.
So I got that. I got a bottle of perfume that I like.
Very nice.
Yes. Got some other odds and ends that I'm pleased about.
I got some cute
I got a
bookends.
roommate.
Yeah, you got a roommate for Christmas. That's awful
I did.
nice.
Uh-huh.
I got some cute bookends for my bookshelf. There's a
Oh, very
microphone
nice.
and headphones.
Perfect.
Apropos, huh?
Yes, very.
Very nice. So Nosferatu, classically, is about vampires. Do you guys know the story of Nosferatu as opposed to Dracula and what happened?
I mean, no, I haven't seen Nosferatu, the original one, in years.
Well, Nosferatu was made as a attempt to capitalize on Bram Stoker's novel. It had not yet been made into a movie, so F.W. Murnau decided to make it, but change the names and a little tiny bit of the story. But Bram Stoker's widow ended up suing them, the makers of the film, and won. And
Nice.
all but 3 copies of Nosferatu were destroyed. So the only reason we have it today is because 3 of them were salvaged. Because it was a blatant copyright infringement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Blatant ripoff.
very much so. It's a lot like Nosferatu ended up being kind of similar to those movies you used to find at the video store or now that you find on streaming where it's just like a couple words off from a title that you're looking for, so you accidentally pull it up.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Nosferatu was, but it ended up being a masterpiece, so good thing it was salvaged.
Yeah.
And it is, of course, about vampires. That was the first movie about vampires. There have been many, many, many since then. So our roundtable question for episode 267 is, what do you think is the scariest vampire ever put to film? I can go first on this one if you like. I found the vampire at the window in Salem's Lot, the 70s TV movie version, to be very scary.
Yeah.
The little boy vampire floating at the window asking
I could
his
see
brother
that.
to let him in.
Mm-hmm.
That one scared me.
That's a good one.
While I haven't seen it in a while, I distinctly remember the vampires in 30 Days of Night being quite terrifying.
Yeah, they were more monstrous. Had a weird kind of like all white albino hairless kind of features and
Right, and
weird
hunting
language.
in packs.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
More animalistic. I liked that depiction of vampires a lot. What about you, Jamie?
I don't know if I would necessarily say the scariest, but I think I would say that the vampires are in 28 Days Later, or I guess those are more zombies, right?
Those are zombies, yeah.
Okay, that's right. I'm going to change my mind. Then I'm going to say Let the Right Ones In, because most of the time we're dealing with like little kid vampires in that, and kind of like your Salem's Lot example.
Yeah.
That's creepier to me, is because they seem so innocent and unassuming, and they were scary in that one because it was very realistic. Oh, hi, bud.
Yeah, and you not only had to worry about them, you also had to worry about the old guy that was working for them, which might like hit you with a hammer and drain your blood.
Exactly.
Even though he was very bad at it.
Yeah, definitely not the vampires from What We Do in the Shadows.
No. We just watched an episode of that last night.
Oh, did you?
From season 2, yeah.
Those are my favorite vampires, though.
Those are my favorite vampires.
And Blade. I love Blade.
Oh, Blade was so good.
One day I'll see a Blade movie.
The first one.
I've only seen the first one, and I loved it.
I also thought, and this is, I don't know how much it holds up. I did rewatch it last year. I still think Kiefer Sutherland in The Lost Boys is a scary-looking vampire. At least scary-looking.
Yeah.
Does he sparkle?
What'd you say?
Does he sparkle?
No, he does not sparkle. I also think that what's the kid's name from Fright Night, which is my favorite vampire movie, by the way, besides Let the Right One In. Not Brewster, but the other kid. Evil Ed. I thought he was really scary when he was a vampire, too. With that, like, crucifix burned into his forehead.
I don't even remember.
Fright Night.
It's been so long.
Any other scary vampires you can think of? Most of the time, they're sexy.
Yeah, I feel like they're always supposed to be sexy. Like Gary Oldman vampire.
Yeah.
Gary Oldman Dracula.
I mean, Count Orlok is almost an odd one out because while he's obviously kind of somewhat royal bloodline, in other vampire movies they're more gentleman-like and like suave and...
Yeah, he is not so much.
No, he is not. He is gross and maggoty.
Yeah.
But he does really pay attention to procedure and process.
Yes.
You can't just buy a house without signing the right paperwork.
He doesn't
The
just
government
squat.
paperwork.
Or even steal women without having paperwork signed.
No.
Yeah. No, he's nothing if not diligent about his paperwork.
And we like that in a bad guy.
Yeah.
Bureaucratic vampire.
Yeah. The vampires are the most bureaucratic of the monsters.
I mean, they always have their secret societies and everything.
Lots of things being sealed with stamps.
Oh,
The
gosh.
wax.
The wax seal stamps.
Yeah.
It's classic vampire.
Classic vampire.
Fair.
I need a wax seal.
Yeah, you do. You should sign your things at work with it.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have DocuSign wax seals?
That'd be awesome.
So, listeners, what do you think is the scariest vampire in film? Let us know. You know how to get in touch with us. All right, it's enough chit-chat. On to Nosferatu. Jamie, you have been waiting for how long?
Since it was announced.
I think it was first announced in 2015.
Okay, so since then. I mean, I've kept it no secret that I'm a lover of all things Robert Eggers. I think he's the best. Like, putting out some of my favorite stuff. Yeah. And this had a lot of things reminiscent of The Witch. A lot of stylistic things that reminded me of The Witch a lot. So it felt like going home. Felt comfortable. I was at peace. So I'm excited to talk about it.
All right, well, let's get into it, shall we?
All right.
Give us those stats, please.
Okay. This here movie is rated R. It is 2 hours and 12 minutes. Like we said, directed by Robert Eggers, written for the screen by Robert Eggers, but inspired by Nosferatu and Dracula. Stars Lily Rose Depp, Bill Skarsgård, and Nicholas Hoult, and also one Mr. Willem Dafoe.
Mm-hmm. And Ralph Ineson.
And Ralph Ineson,
And Emma
yes,
Corrin
of
and
course.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yes.
A lot of people.
Was in 2 trailers before this movie, so he's having a hot couple
Was
years. He? Yeah. Released in theaters December 25th, 2024, Christmas Day. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's 86% fresh with critics, 75% fresh with audiences.
Do I need to recount the summary of this movie? It is Dracula, basically. Except it's not Count Dracula, it's Count Orlok.
Lord. Well,
Lord. Count
Yes.
Lord Orlok.
Royal Justice Major Count Orlok.
Exactly.
Who wants to move from his ancestral castle to the homeland of Ellen Hutter, who is his obsession, who calls out in the night in her adolescence for companionship, and her call is heeded by this ageless monster. And he wants to come meet her, so her fiancé comes to help him sign all the requisite paperwork. And he arrives by boat and has a pull over her, kills some of her loved ones. You know how it goes, right?
Yeah, tale as old as time.
Who
Classic.
who hasn't moved cross-continent for their love?
I mean, I have.
Some have.
Some have.
But to get there and then kill all the loved ones is
Haven't done that
part
yet.
of the process. No, that's
A very
taking
jealous
it.
vampire.
That's right. Of course, Robert Eggers being really into period realistic films. This was filmed at a place called Hunadora Castle, which is also known as Corvin Castle, which is a Romanian castle in Transylvania, one of the largest medieval castles in Europe. And
It's beautiful.
Vlad Dracula was briefly imprisoned there. That's pretty realistic, pretty
Yeah.
authentic for you.
Yeah.
The castle was my favorite part of the movie.
The portion in the castle,
Yeah.
or just the castle
No,
as set piece?
The scenes in the castle.
Some very beautiful scenes in
Yeah.
there.
Agreed.
So, what did we think about this movie, guys? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first, sure.
Go first, Jamie.
Well, I really liked this a lot. Like I said, I haven't seen Nosferatu, the original one, since film class in college years and years ago. So
Yeah.
it's been a long time. I respect its place in film history as a classic. But I don't remember being like blown away by it. Like it was never, oh, that's one of my favorite horror movies sort of things.
Nah, I mean, it's a silent film. How scary can it be?
Exactly. But this movie was just like a gothic horror lover's dream. And for someone who... Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. I've got a cat licking my chin. Stop it, kitty. For someone who loves, like you said, the historical aspect of movies and period pieces in general, I loved the realism of this and how true it was to the time. It always, when done well, adds a layer of authenticity that helps you absorb into the story, and you feel the sort of like bleakness of the time, and it just helps create this very tense, like horrific atmosphere. And I think Lily Rose Depp did a really awesome job at her character, and
Very
I
physical
haven't seen her
performance.
in anything, so I had no idea what to expect. But she really killed it, no pun intended. Like, she did a great job, and Nicholas Hoult, I think, is underrated as an actor. I think he did a great job. Bill Skarsgård was unrecognizable, which I'm sure was the idea, but I thought his take on Dracula or Count Orlok was very creepy, and I appreciated how the voice and the tone of his voice was very reminiscent of the devil in The Witch.
It was.
Which I really liked, because in The Witch, to me, that was the creepiest part, was when you hear that voice and it's just this sort of like seductive yet terrifying man speaking to you. You know, it's just, I liked how that kind of brought it back and played on that.
I liked how phlegmy and wheezy he was.
Yes. If I have any complaints about it, it would just be that it was probably a little too long for my taste. I don't know that it needed to be 2 hours and 12 minutes. But that being said, there weren't any parts during it where I felt I was bored. It just took a lot to sort of get rolling in the beginning. But I feel like you kind of expect that with a sort of gothic horror movie. There's usually a lot of buildup in the beginning until things start to unravel and get more horrific. And once they do in this, they really do. And boy, the last shot of this movie is like ridiculous.
I really love the opening sequence too. I thought that was maybe the strongest sequence in the movie. The dream sequence with her.
Yeah, it was really good.
It definitely set up the creepy vibe.
Oh, yeah. I liked everything, of course. I mean, it being Nosferatu and Dracula stuff and the talk about shadows and stuff. I really liked a lot of the shadow work, like in the plays with light and dark, and how some scenes were done in color and then some were just almost strictly black and white. But like the way Eggers played with shadows in a lot of scenes and just the hand creeping up and also moving the doorknob, though, with just the shadow of his hand. I just thought all of that lent itself. I'm sorry. I've got a cat that's literally like doing everything in his power to make me give him the attention.
Yes, the attention he deserves.
Yeah. I just thought all of that it just added so much to the movie. It was like a character in and of itself, like this sort of playing with light and dark, and almost like how the castle is a character in itself. Like, I just think it was really, really well done. And I think the score to this was very like beautiful, like beautifully haunting at times, more so than I've heard in previous Eggers movies, like a little bit more
melodic than his other ones.
Melodic. Yeah, like you still had this sort of background of what sounded like a weird choral of women, like that was we heard in The Witch. So it had a lot of that, but there were also scenes, one in particular where he's first galloping away on the horse to head towards Count Orlok. Like the music that's playing in the background during that was I liked it a lot, but it was very much different than what we've seen or heard in other movies of his. Yeah,
this one and The Northman were both done by the same composer.
Okay.
Not Mark Corvin, who did The Witch and The Lighthouse. I actually like Mark Corvin better. I thought the score to this was nice, but I couldn't help but wonder what it would have been like if Mark Corvin had done it.
Yeah. I mean, I do like those better. I think they just mesh with the movie, like overall better than these do, but I liked hearing something different.
Yes.
In it. So yeah, I mean, overall, I thought it was great. I thought it was super tense. I thought the acting and the editing and just the playing with light and stuff was what really made it so tense to watch and so horrific, and really sort of built the horror aspect of it and made you feel this like dread of what's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, it's not my favorite of the Eggers movies, but I was not disappointed by it.
What's your favorite?
It's still The Witch.
Yeah. The more I look back at The Lighthouse too, though, I have a hard time going between the two of them picking one. Because I really love The Lighthouse. Especially after seeing his other movies. I think The Lighthouse is the most original by far.
Oh, for sure.
And I love that he uses humor in it. There is some humor in this. Mm-hmm. But the humor in The Lighthouse is so good. And so uncomfortable and weird.
Oh, yeah. I've never seen anything else like The Lighthouse.
Neither have I. Jamie, what do you want to rate this?
I'd probably rate this a 4. And I would recommend it to fans of Gothic horror, to fans of vampire movies, and anyone who's liked Robert Eggers' other movies. He tends to, I know he kind of gets compared a lot to Ari Aster just because they seem to always have,
movies
or at least
out
in the beginning, movies out around the same time. But I think while they both are very good at what they do and make very high quality, impactful movies, they're very different.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Ari Aster is like, puts anxiety on film and you feel anxious and uncomfortable through all of them, and Eggers just creates like this very artsy horror, which normally I'm not I don't get as drawn to the artsy
Yeah,
type
but
stuff.
this is artsy period horror.
But 100%. But you throw the historical aspect in there and you got me.
Yeah. I would say that this has potential wide appeal. Mm-hmm. Because it's
There
a
were
story
a
that
lot of
everyone
people
is
in the
familiar
theater.
with, and it doesn't go off the deep end as far as making it his own or weird or anything. It's still the straightforward version of the story, and told in a very straightforward way. Mm-hmm. So I think this has a potential for mass appeal.
I mean, yeah, I went at 1:00 on a Sunday. I mean, granted, it's raining outside, and the movie theater was packed in general, but like there's a lot of other stuff out, and my theater was packed.
Yeah, we had to sit in the cuddle recliners because there wasn't any seats for us.
Yeah, I actually had to pick a seat that was in the back row between two doubles, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna make some friends.
Yep.
I don't usually do that, but I wasn't gonna sit towards the front. No way.
All right, Chris, what did you think?
So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think as we already discussed, I think the part with the castle is really well done. It's just really eerie. I mean, the whole part in Transylvania when Holt arrives in Transylvania with the little village, all of that, and the castle is just very eerie and really tense. And then when he sort of figures out something is wrong and tries to find the Count during the day, there were some effective jump scares as well. I feel like it loses a bit of steam once they're back in Germany.
I agree.
But I recognize it's just being true to the story. And I mean...
He's very true to the story.
In the original, I think Dracula doesn't have as much of an appearance in the latter half. So it's hard to sort of fault it for it. And I was thinking it's kind of ironic how... Now, watching a movie like this, it all feels very cliche, but obviously the original invented all of these cliches,
Exactly.
So it's hard to sort of fault it. But I think maybe there could have been a little more of an own spin on the story and how it's told. I really enjoyed it. Overall, I'd give it a solid 4 stars as well. The cinematography is gorgeous. It's just very pretty to look at.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. 1838 Germany seems very well realized, just like I remember the old country. But yeah, so pretty good. I think Willem Dafoe, well, I love Willem Dafoe. He's a fantastic actor. Some of the sort of comedic elements seemed a little misplaced in the movie, I feel like.
He did sort of seem like he was in a different movie.
Yeah.
You could tell that Eggers wanted to have a little bit of levity or a little bit of excitement in some of the lines, and he did a great job reading those lines. I forget the one, the devil is supping on your good lady wife or something like that.
But yeah, he was very much a comic relief.
He was. He is starting to sort of play himself, though.
Well, he probably has a choice of whatever he wants to appear in.
I think people are probably just writing roles for him now.
Yeah.
You know, this is
It's
a
like
Willem
Nick Cage.
Dafoe role.
Yeah.
Like Nick Cage, very much.
And yeah, like you said, Jamie, I think Orlok was just fantastic. I actually hadn't looked at anything up beforehand, so I didn't even know who was playing Orlok.
I didn't either.
And during the movie, I was trying to figure out who it was, and at no point did I think it was Bill Skarsgård. Now, in hindsight, okay, he's the enemy du jour, so no surprise, but
right.
Just fantastic performance, and the voice acting was just phenomenal. Very much antagonistic presence, even if you could hardly make him out on screen throughout most of the movie.
I think the less you saw of him, the better, too.
Yes.
And they were very successful at hiding him in shadow and stuff in the first half.
I loved that. I loved how you would just get like a brief lighting of the side of his face or like his mustache or just like his hands. But you saw the like presence of him, the outline of him, and he was just sort of like this large foreboding.
He looms. He's very big and looming.
Yes.
I really liked how annoyed Orlok was with the superstitious townsfolk back in Transylvania, and he wanted to be amongst the metropolitans in Central Europe, though probably primarily so no one knew what the jig was till it was up. Though it's not entirely clear to me what his end game might have been. I mean, he got his girl and was then...
He just wanted to fuck her.
Sucker.
Yeah. In his way.
In his own way, yes. Penetration of some sort.
That's correct.
I'm not sure how anatomically the biting actually works with the bite marks on the chest.
Yeah, he didn't have fangs. That was an interesting...
Well, and the fangs would have had to point forwards.
Right.
I'm not quite sure. Maybe his jaw can open up very wide.
Like a snake.
Yes.
It's part of his mystique.
I mean, that's what the vampires in Blade 2 do. They can open their fangs.
Really?
Yes.
My brother used to have recurring nightmares where vampires were hunting him, and that was how he killed them. He opened their mouth really wide and snapped their head open.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Sounds like a risky strategy with vampires.
I know.
Does this version of a vampire turn people?
He doesn't in Nosferatu. In Bram Stoker's Dracula, he does.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's something he changes.
Completely different story now.
Totally different story. Any other things you want to share about your experience with the movie?
Well, our theatre was very empty, but we were in a very, very rural theatre. But it was still fun. An afternoon showing as well.
Very good. I thought that the best thing about this was the cinematography. There were some beautiful, I mean, the candlelight and stuff. We already knew he had it in him with the witch.
Well, right.
And even just the gorgeous black and white cinematography of the lighthouse. This often looks black and white, like you said, and I kind of thought of it as a sort of a conscious choice to drain the color out the way that that things have been drained of blood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought that was really smart, and I love all the candlelight. I thought the shadow play worked really well. Kay thought it was a little bit laughable, the scene where the hand creeps over the city.
Oh, I love that.
That did not work for Kay at all. It worked for me. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was really cool.
There's a gorgeous scene where Nicholas Hoult is approaching the castle and he's walking in the snow. That's probably the prettiest scene in the whole movie. I also think it's really cool for a movie this with this much shadow in it and stuff to not really be a physically dark movie. It's got a ton of light with the candlelight and the moonlight and stuff. It's just really masterfully lit and filmed.
I agree.
I think that the suspense is really strong in the first half of the movie. I especially like the opening sequence. I thought that was really strong and scary. And I think the scene with Emma Corrin after she puts her kids to bed, she plays Ellen and Thomas's couple's friend who just has a bunch of kids. And she's put them to bed and she's like in the hall hearing sounds. That was beautiful, and it reminded me of The Innocents, the scene with Deborah Kerr in the hallway in The Innocents. Mm-hmm. Just really nice, really good handle on controlling suspense. I struggled to think that this was super necessary. It's nice to see a nice updated version of the Dracula story, but I kept thinking back to Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula. And what a cool kind of innovative version that was. The costuming, the score, the filmic techniques that he used in it. It's so stylish and so interesting visually and sonically. I prefer that movie to this one. However, the acting in this one is 1,000,000 times better than the acting in the Coppola version. 1,000,000 times better. Not that Gary Oldman didn't do a good job as Dracula, because I like his Dracula better.
Yeah.
He's not as scary.
No, but he brings his own to
He's
it.
more compelling. He's more magnetic.
Yeah.
The Orlok here is not... You see that he has a pull over her, and that they have a connection, but you don't really see him as being super scary, I don't think, or you don't see his magnetism over others the way that you can buy
Right.
it with Gary Oldman's version of Dracula. But I think Lily Rose Depp just throws everything at the wall in this performance. It's a really drooly performance. We don't usually get a lot of drool from female performers, but you see that with actors, male actors that are trying to be really physical and emotive. And so I enjoyed that it was kind of drooly.
It was
Her
very drooly at
performance,
parts.
I very much enjoyed her performance. That some of her, like the fugues, the seizures that she goes into, reminded me a lot of my favorite parts of The Witch. The parts with the
boy.
brother.
Same here.
Yeah, and that was where I thought, other than the look of it, which is pristine, that was where Eggers, I thought, was kind of edging into, like, this is a Robert Eggers movie. Mm-hmm. And he showed us some of what he can do as far as making something his own.
Yeah.
Because that felt to me like an interesting and more physical and more solidly, like, sensual aspect of this story than we normally see. Even the Coppola version, where it is like a romance and there is like a longing for each other. It's not like a physical desire the same way that this was. So I liked that aspect of it, and I liked that he chose to kind of go that route. So in that way, he's sort of done something that the other versions didn't do as much.
Yeah. I mean, wasn't this really just supposed to, like,
It's
something
his
he
version.
wanted to redo? Yeah, he didn't really want to necessarily change it a bunch, just wanted to put his
He wanted to make his version of Nosferatu.
stamp on it. Yeah.
Which he did very well.
Yeah. So I don't think I wasn't disappointed in that. I wasn't really expecting any sort of change from it like that. I just expected it to be a Robert Eggers version of Nosferatu.
I was hoping for a Robert Eggers version of Nosferatu, as in putting like some of Robert Eggers's weirdness into it. You know, the way that he made The Lighthouse weird. I wanted some more Robert Eggers quirk. And this was more straightforward retelling of Nosferatu, which is fine.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I am giving it plus 1/2 star for Peen.
Yep. There was Dracula Peen.
The look of the monster and his accent weren't the best to me. I was glad that they showed him sparingly. I like the wheezy rattliness of his voice. But yeah, I like Gary Oldman better.
What's Gary Oldman?
I really enjoyed that he included the plague as coming with Dracula, or coming with Count Orlok, and all the rats. They used real rats in this movie. Thousands and thousands of them.
Oh, man.
Like 5,000 real rats were used.
That's
in this
crazy.
movie. Yeah. I really liked that they worked the plague in. That's in the original Nosferatu, not in Dracula, and not in any of the other iterations since then. And I think it's timely to bring it back after COVID. And I enjoyed like the shots of just like dead people in the street.
Oh, yeah.
I thought
That
that set
scene-
the stage really well.
That one scene as they're like walking back to
Yes.
Ellen and Thomas are walking back to their apartment or their house. Yeah. And there's just dead people in the streets, a dead horse, rats running around. It's like, ooh.
I think Nicholas Hoult did a really good job. I think he's very good at conveying fear. I think that that's partially why the beginning was so scary, because he does such a good job of reacting.
Yes.
It did feel a little stagey to me in the dialogue. I think Willem Dafoe is able to make period dialogue seem fresh, but not so some of the other actors. Aaron Taylor Johnson, for example. It's not every actor can do it. And I also am very much not necessarily a fan of period movies and period dialogue. So I think the reason The Witch worked well for me, even though it has that, is because it was a period dialogue we never hear. And this is
Right.
one we hear all the time, and it just makes me think of kind of cheesier movies, you know?
They weren't even speaking German, so
No, they were not.
Right.
They should have been, right?
Yes. I mean, I would imagine so. They lived in Germany.
I think it was really ballsy for Robert Eggers to do this movie, and I can see why he didn't do it immediately after The Witch, and I'm glad he didn't do it immediately after The Witch, because he's got really big competition in this subgenre of horror, you know? We're talking about, like, Francis Ford Coppola and Werner Herzog. Mm-hmm. Those are some...
heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think he does a very good job. Ultimately, I give this a 4 as well.
4s all around.
And I did think that the mustache made him look like Dr. Eggman from Sonic.
I didn't even think about that until just now.
I liked his weird swipe of hair that was just like growing. He had just had like a swath of hair.
A wisp of hair.
Just a suggestion of hair.
Yep.
What was everybody's favorite scene?
No.
I like the opening sequence the best.
I think when he first meets Orlok and is just trying to figure
At the
out
castle?
what's going on, and
I did like the editing in that area. Like after he would get drained, he would pass out and he'd wake up and it would be like, "What fresh hell is this?"
Yeah.
I liked that a lot.
and being corrected about the title, and it just all very intimidating without being physically intimidating as such. And then Thomas sort of cuts himself on a piece of paper,
Right.
and he gets scolded for it. Don't tempt me. I can't remember, something along those lines.
Yeah, I liked that. I liked the scene in the castle when Thomas is at the castle, like where he is trying to escape and all the doors are shut, and then he busts open the lock to get into the like.
Oh yes, and he comes
vault
upon his
room.
coffin.
Yeah, and I liked how there were just like certain scenes where the dogs came into play.
Yeah.
And I thought those were like really creepy because they weren't there all the time, and they just sort of like manifested when he was like extra angry.
Yeah.
Like, and I just like how he runs away from him and runs outside the door and locks it. And then you could tell that there's just like the presence of him is outside too. And he forces him to like turn around and open the door.
Yeah.
Just that sense that like he is everywhere in that castle and there's no escaping. And
The coach without a rider was good as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was cool. And how the door just opened.
I also enjoy just in general how they made it more about Ellen than the guys and then Orlok himself. Because if you think about vampire movies, they are about fear of the other. And in fact, they used Nosferatu as an anti-Semitic movie, and the same thing applied to the Todd Browning Dracula, where it was about fear of foreigners. And this one, he's kind of taken that and instead made it about a fear of the self, because it's Ellen who's afraid of her instincts and her desire for him.
Her shame.
Yeah.
Her melancholy.
All the shit that she can't actually do because she's a woman in the 1800s.
She just has too much blood, clearly.
Yeah, too much blood.
She's got too much.
And her corset's not tight enough. That was my favorite line in it.
I know, it was like,
Keep her
the corset
on in
her while
bed
she's sleeping.
to help her posture,
Good God.
to help with her hysteria.
I do love seeing Ralph Ineson, and I hope he remains in multiple Eggers movies going forward.
Can you imagine if his was the voice of Orlok?
It would be too recognizable.
I guess so.
He has got such a great voice, though.
The best voice, and he's the new James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
I also really like the costumes. Very pretty dresses and just smart day-to-day wear.
Yes.
He's very authentic with his costumes. So one of my favorite things about The Witch is how you can see the hand stitching in the costumes. Because, of course,
Yes.
they did not have sewing machines.
Right. I love I will always appreciate his dedication to realism and
Yeah.
authenticity with historical stuff.
How did we like how this ultimately ended?
Do we go into spoilers? I mean, it's a 100-year-old story, but
Right. That's the thing. He does it a little different, I guess. in a way. It's all a parable about time management and keeping an eye on the clock.
Well, just play the spoiler jingle and then we can talk
All
about
right,
it.
let's talk about spoilers here. So inevitably, Orlok, he gives her 3 days, right? And kills people leading up to that.
Her loved ones.
Her loved ones. I did like the scene with him, Aaron Taylor Johnson, going into the crypt after his wife is killed, and I thought that was good. But she decides to call him to her with the help of the Van Helsing character, Willem Dafoe's character. So he leads the guys to the castle where Count Orlok is not, and then they realize, but they get back, and she's already allowed him to come to her and feed off of her, but he doesn't keep an eye on the sunrise.
So he got cooked.
So she sacrifices herself to, or just gives in to what she wanted in the beginning. We don't really know.
Yeah,
A little bit of both.
And while you say the women in this movie play a much bigger role than in other adaptations, none of them have a particularly happy ending or any kind of happy ending.
No.
No, none at all.
But she is able to use her. It's her idea to do this, so
She saved
using
the rest
her
of the
power
town.
to save the rest of to stop the plague.
And I guess the surviving husbands probably won't have a good time of it either.
Probably not, but they didn't die.
They didn't die.
Nicholas Holt's just going to be scarred for the rest of his life,
Yes.
and a bundle of nerves forever and ever.
But hey, there's ether, there's opium,
Laudanum.
Bloodletting.
bloodletting. There's lots of ways to get past
He just has
that.
too much blood.
He just has too much blood.
And he has a very rich friend, so...
So here's a question for you both. After, Chris, what is your favorite Robert Eggers movie thus far?
Well, to my great shame, I've only seen two, this and The Lighthouse.
Okay.
Of the two, I think I probably prefer The Lighthouse, even though it's much, much weirder.
Much, much weirder.
Much less straightforward.
What would you guys like Robert Eggers to make next? For me, I would like him to write and not adapt something. I would like him to make something small again, a couple-person chamber piece kind of movie. That's what I would like.
The Lighthouse in Space.
Something in space would be creepy.
Yes, it would.
But I like his historical stuff. So
what era would you like him to portray next? How about that?
Well, let's do steampunk in space. Doesn't have to be realistic.
Right. That's
True.
true. He can do whatever he wants.
I think he could do
I don't know.
steampunk well.
I think he could too.
I'd have to think about it longer. I don't know. I like the idea of...
What if Robert Eggers remade Amadeus?
That would be ridiculous.
Jamie would have to be
That could
hospitalized.
be good. I might have to. I was thinking, like, it would be cool for him to do some sort of adaptation of, like, Cassandra in the story of, like, the fall of Troy and how
Ooh.
she knew the future and could predict the future, but was cursed with no one believing her. So some sort of play on that, like...
That would be awesome.
Or something with Olympic gods. Lots of drama there.
You know, that's my favorite
Your favorite era.
historical period to get into, but
Yeah.
I think he could do some real creepy things that could be done with it.
I think Robert Eggers could do a really good war movie too. I mean, he kind of
Yeah.
already did with The Northman, but I'm thinking like modern day,
Yeah.
like a war movie, like maybe a story told during war about soldiers that isn't like a grand epic, but is more of a smaller story.
I could see that for sure.
That's what I would like. World War I, maybe.
Very depressing period.
Yeah. All right, what else we got to say about this movie, guys? Any other parts you enjoyed? What about the gore? Got some breast munching. That was gross.
Yeah, I think the gore was pretty minimal.
Pretty
a lot
minimal.
of neck biting and stuff, but you'd expect that.
I wasn't especially fond of the Renfield character in this.
No.
No, I mean, after having Tom Waits do it in the Coppola one,
Well, sure. He was all right.
he was okay, but I always found the Renfield character to be an entertaining part of the Dracula story, and this one
Yeah, he
wasn't
was
as-
less entertaining in this one.
Yeah. But it sure looked pretty, didn't it?
Ugh, it was beautiful.
Like you say, probably the best part of the movie.
Yeah. Moonlight, candlelight, gorgeous.
Yeah.
All right, listeners, that's what we
Agreed.
think about Nosferatu. Let us know what you thought. Rank the Robert Eggers movies for us. We want to hear your thoughts. We also want to hear what you think he should make next. Maybe he wants to hear too. He probably don't care. Is this doing well at the box office? Do we know?
I don't know.
Like you say, I think this has mainstream appeal, and I would expect it to do well.
Yeah. People like to go see things where they know what's going to happen. And who doesn't know the story, like we said? All right.
It's a 40.3 million gross over the 5-day Christmas frame.
Pretty good.
Yeah. 21.5 million over a 3-day weekend.
Won't make $1 billion, but alas.
A
So-
couple other pieces of trivia that I found interesting. A lot of this cast has already done vampire-related things. This is the second Nosferatu-related film that Willem Dafoe did, because he was in Shadow of the Vampire, which is another good one, where he plays Max Schreck, playing Count Orlok. And this is the third time Robert Eggers and Ralph Ineson have collaborated. This is the second Skarsgård that Robert Eggers has worked with, because of course he worked with Alexander Skarsgård in The Northman.
Yep. And was it Nicholas Hoult in Renfield?
Yep.
Yep.
And Black Phillip the Goat no, he wasn't.
Oh, we wish.
All right, so next. We have been remiss in that we have not yet covered as a podcast the Smile movies. So for our next episode 268 of the program, we are going to be covering both Smile 1 and 2. Smile 1 is available on Hulu and Paramount Plus, I'm pretty sure, and Smile 2 is available on Paramount Plus. You can also rent it. So we hope that you will watch those films and that you will join us back in 2 weeks' time to discuss them.
Yay.
We hope that you have a very lovely new year, that your 2025 is profitable and happy and healthy, and filled with puppies and kitties.
Yeah.
We'd like to thank you for listening, of course. If you haven't done so, leave our podcast a review and a rating, 5 stars only, of course, on iTunes or your listening platform of choice. Leave us emails at thebloodlustpodcast@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram or Facebook. Or leave a message on our website, thebloodlust.net. Chris, Jamie, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for
You're
having me
welcome.
again.
Anytime. Okay, listeners. This has
right.
been episode 267. Until next time, I've been Amy.
I'm Jamie.
Hail Satan New Year, I'm Chris.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Good night.
Go enjoy your hot tub time.
Hot tub.